Again, I should say, Sligo Rovers and Galway United finally met in their second round tie on Tuesday, and once again there was no conclusive result.
A disappointing cup tie, both sides ring rusty after periods of inactivity. Most of the chances came in the second half, John Kenny there blazing over Costello's goal. The Galway defence though was very well organised by sweeper Ray O'Halloran. But Sligo's Mike Small did get in behind them, only to miss the target. The worsening conditions didn't help, and in the end both sides will be happy for a second chance next week.
It was only in the second half of the game tonight that we got back to what we were before the break. Now we're back flying, and we got Cork on Friday, so we're ready for it now. We're ready to finish off the season as we were going before the break.
Well, we're still in the cup. That's the main thing. There was always a chance that we may get hit with a sucker punch, or one of those might have gone in the net. We're still in the cup, and we're looking forward to it like in Galway, and we fancy our chances.
Bishopstown saw its first action in 2 months as Cork returned home and put a major dent in Sligo's title aspirations. A goal in each half by the deadly duo as Daly's free kick found Caulfield, and a brilliant first touch made the volley look easy. That's his 19th goal and set Cork on their way to a first league win since the 8th of January. The icing on the cake for City in the second half, O'Donoghue's thunderbolt that McLean couldn't touch, and Morley was following up like any good striker does to double Cork's advantage and give Sligo their second setback in a week. Final score at Bishopstown, Cork City 2, Sligo Rovers 0.
And what all that means is that just 7 points now separate. At the showground, Sligo Rovers got back to winning ways against Monaghan United, whose poor defending contributed to the first goal, which was claimed by Mark Reid. Goal number 2 was very much a solo effort. Porrick Moran collected the ball just over halfway, and he finished his determined run with a shot low to the corner. 2-0 to Sligo Rovers.
Galway got a great start at Terryland Park last night. And big Donny Farragher back in the side again was proving a constant thorn. But the first chances were to Sligo, but it stays out. Oliver Cooney directing operations there. Farragher making his presence felt. The big fella back in the attack lays one up for Ricky O'Flaherty, a goal to 0 after 28 minutes. And that was the only score of the first half, but there were to be 5 goals in the second half. And again, another assist from Farragher and another finish from O'Flaherty. 10 minutes into the half, 2 goals to 0, Galway lead. Then Sligo made a substitution. Big Mike Small, who'd been getting some good goals and good games for them, came in. And he wasn't long there when this happened. Small was in, 2-1. Is it to be the Sligo comeback? Well, Eddie Anand seemed to think so. He's had a very good season for Rovers. Here he is. And there's a lovely finish in of the far upright. It's 2-2. Still 20 minutes to go. Now can Sligo lift the game. Here's Small again. The Galway defence in trouble. And the keeper spreading himself well to deny Sligo the chance. And then it broke up again. Ollie Neary getting it out to Flaherty. Back to Farragher. And a smashing finish by the big fellow. And Farragher, long throw, comes to Mark Herrick. The goalkeeper hurt himself off the upright. Farragher made 3 and scored 1, 4-2 Galway. What a night.
The semi-final lineup for this season's Harp Lager FAI Cup final should be finalised tomorrow. The last quarter-final involving Shamrock Rovers and cup holders Sligo Rovers is on at the RDS. Well, the last time the sides met in the league, the honours went west, with Sligo winning by 2 goals to 0.
McDonnell to Hasty, second half. Eddie Anand. Nice control, close, tight to his feet. Oh, beautiful play. Ball control, matching his confidence, 1-0. A minute of the second half. Free kick for Sligo, headed out by Toll, drops to Martin McDonnell. What a finish on the left peg. Marvellous goal, 3 minutes gone, 2-0.
Well, joining me now in studio is Shamrock Rovers manager Ray Tracy, and down in our Sligo studio we have Rovers player-manager Laurie Sanchez. First of all, if I could turn to you, Laurie. When you arrived at Sligo Rovers, there was a little bit of work to be done, but you must be pretty happy the way the season has gone so far.
Yeah, when I first came here, I think we lost our first 6 games on the trot, which included the 2 European games against Bruges. So it wasn't the best of starts for managers, but since then we seem to have turned it around a little bit. Had a bit of a hiccup recently after a long layoff, but we're coming back into ourselves now.
How concerned are you that your 3 last away league games have resulted in defeats going into this match?
I'm disappointed more than concerned. I mean, the fact that we played 1 game, I think the Shamrock game, in 4 weeks before having to play 6 in 14 days, and it obviously disrupted our rhythm a little bit. But cups are one-off games. I mean, I'm not worried about going down to Shamrock. As you've seen previously, we won there last time we were down there, so we've got no worries about going down there.
Well, Ray, if I could turn to you now. I mean, the season has gone pretty well, considering during last summer you lost a few key players from the club, but you've gone well in the league. Maybe it slipped away from you now at this stage, but you're still very much in the chance of a UEFA place. But what about the Cup?
Well, the Cup would obviously represent our best chance this season, so for Europe. So it's a very, very big game to us. I think Laurie is entitled to feel quite confident, as he obviously is, after the last game. But Shamrock Rovers are a little bit special in the Cup, and I'm going down to talk to the players now, and they won't need too much reminding that the history in the Cup is a superb one, and if they can raise their game tomorrow, then we may get a result.
Yeah, the 2 clubs have a very good history in the FAI Cup. Are you pretty happy with your preparations and your recent form coming up to this game?
Well, we've got no injuries, but we've been very patchy, as we have all season. I think most clubs will say the same. We can all look back and remember 5 or 6 points that we should have had put away. Every club can say that, including the bottom team. So there hasn't been an outstanding side in the league this year. Last year ourselves and Cork probably did run away with it to a certain degree, but that's why I say the Cup is very, very important for us.
I'd say one of your best performances that we've seen on television this season has been that the match against Cork City, the second round. You must have been very pleased with that performance. Yeah,
I was pleased with the way we played. We passed the ball, and we are totally relying on that. We don't really have big men. We can't get forward in one ball. We rely on playing football, and if we don't do it, then we become a very mediocre side.
Laurie, what's the situation with the Sligo Rovers squad at the moment? Any injury worries going into tomorrow's match?
No, everybody's fit. We've had a week off, which has been nice after having so many games in such a short space of time. Everybody's looking forward to it. As cup holders, I mean, obviously they've had half the team there last year. They know what it's about, and they want to get back there to hold it up again. How valuable will that experience be to you going into the quarter-final tomorrow? I think it's important for the boys that were here. Half the team weren't here last year, so it's a new experience for them, but the half that were here will tell them, you know, what a great day they had at Lansdowne Road last May, and they'll be determined to get back there. We had a couple of great nights in European football when I was here, and they'll be looking forward to doing that again next season, hopefully. And apparently a rather large crowd coming up from Sligo to Dublin tomorrow, is that true? Yeah, we'll take between 2,000 and 3,000. I think when we played Shamrock last time, we had more fans at the RDS than them. I would think tomorrow we probably have as many, if not more, again. So it's a good pitch there at Shamrock. We're looking forward to playing there. So at this stage of the season, are you pinning all your hopes on a cup final place to book a place in Europe next year? I think any of the teams left in the cup are looking forward to the cup final. I mean, to be fair, I think the Cup Winners' Cup is probably a better cup than the UEFA Cup. I think there's about 128 teams in the UEFA Cup next year. The Cup Winners' Cup, you've got better chance of playing better quality opposition earlier than you have in the UEFA Cup. So therefore, I think perhaps it's the best European competition that Irish teams can play in. Well, I think you both would agree it's been a very up and down season, and many teams have led the league, Ray. But in terms of the Cup, it's always a different competition, and anything can happen on the day. But how confident are you now going into the game?
I would be a lot more confident if we were in the middle of a good spell. We're not. As I say, it changes week to week. We've dug out 2 very good results our last 2 games, away to at home to Dundalk and away to Cork. But as Laurie said, it's a once-off. With Shamrock Rovers, you don't really know what to expect. I, at times, don't really know what to expect. We've got 1 or 2 players that are capable of winning any game in League of Ireland because they are a little bit extra special with their skill. But that doesn't win you games, just 1 player. We need 11 players going. I know it's very unfair to ask managers for predictions, but that's what I'm going to do, Ray. A prediction from you, first of all. Oh, I predict Rovers will win, yeah.
And Laurie, the final word to you down there in Sligo. How do you think it's going to go finally, quickly?
Like Ray said, I mean, what's gone on before is meaningless. Tomorrow's the team that wants it the most on the day, and I'm hoping my boys are up for that.
Okay, well, thank you both for joining us this morning. We wish you both the very best of luck. Don't forget that game kicks off at 3:15 at the RDS tomorrow. It's Shamrock Rovers against Sligo Rovers, the quarter-final of the FAI Cup, with the winner playing at home against Shelbourne in the semi-final. That's just about it from Soccer.
Sligo Rovers took on Shelbourne was very dramatic, as Stephen Alkin will now tell you.
A great start for Shelbourne as Robbie Devereux's corner was punched into his own neck by Mark McLean. He was under pressure from Vinnie Arkins though, and from Devereux's well-flighted kick under the crossbar, it was always going to be difficult for the Sligo goalkeeper. Sligo's player-manager Laurie Sanchez had stated that a third cup tie in a week was asking a lot of his players, and Arkins profited from a rare Gavin Dykes error to double Shelbourne's advantage. A sizable Shelbourne contingent witnessed a thoroughly professional display, and their fair-haired striker showed he can finish with his left foot too. Then the moment which ended Sligo's dreams. Brian Mooney and McLean collided, and referee Dick O'Hanlon sent off the Sligo keeper for a professional foul. While the contact wasn't conclusive, Mooney's foot was very high, and the goalkeeper could consider himself very unlucky. Sligo ripped into the second half, and Will Hastie's cross set up Jerry Carr for only his third goal since last year's final. A beautifully flighted ball it was too, with the Scotsman getting between Arkins and Mick Neville. Shelbourne's third was created by the player of the month for March, Mark Rutherford. His pullback finding Stephen Gagan in space. That's his 9th goal in 11 games. Back to the form he showed for Shamrock Rovers last season. Could Shelbourne be on the way to winning something this? The Sligo defence guilty of slack marking, with Dykes and Ian Lynch giving Gagan far too much time to angle the drive past Nicky Brujos in the Sligo goal.
Dramatic indeed.
The Sligo Rovers took on Shelbourne midweek.
Shelbourne in blue. This is Brian Mooney. Terrific player on the ball. It's a wonderful season. Vinnie Arkins links up with them. Mooney's gone into the centre. It's Arkins where Mooney normally is, and Mooney where you might expect Arkins, and Mooney has scored. 17 minutes from the end. Mooney started the move, and Mooney finished the move, and Shelbourne get the points.
Could ensure second in the Premier Division. Dundalk ensured that the most fascinating Premier Division title race in years will go down to the final whistle on Sunday when they beat 10-man Sligo at the showgrounds midweek, courtesy of that piece of magic from Peter Whitnell. Whitnell's shot unstoppable, 1-0 the scoreline and 3 precious points for the Lily Whites.